love, unity, civilization, and total chaos.
Wondering aloud on this soundstage and elsewhere for many months now about a tipping point, a point at which President Donald J. Trump would lose the support of Republicans. Many of us thought that the tipping point had been reached after the pussy-grabbing tape was released. We was wrong. Some of us thought, hey, Trump has fired the acting Attorney General, Pamela Yates. He cannot get away with that. Wrong again. By the time he had fired 46 U.S. attorneys, including Preet Bharara, who coincidentally was investigating Trump's corrupt business practices, and fired the head of the FBI, who coincidentally was investigating Trump's campaign, Trump's NSA chief, and Trump's son-in-law, many of us were incredulous. How can they let him get away with that? This week came the news that Trump is considering firing Robert S. Mueller III, former FBI director and current special counsel overseeing Trumpgate. The White House staff panicked. Not only would Trump not get away with firing a fourth high-ranking Justice Department official, but it would also be near impossible. The Attorney General of the United States, Jefferson Beauregard Sessions III, has recused himself from the Trumpgate or Russiagate investigation, probably because he is dirty as hell. The Deputy Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein, told the Senate committee Tuesday that he would not fire Mueller without good cause, and he has not seen good cause. When, in the depths of the Watergate investigation some 45 years ago, President Nixon ordered his Attorney General to fire the Watergate special prosecutor. It did not end well. The Attorney General refused to fire the special prosecutor and resigned in protest. Nixon then ordered the Assistant Attorney General to fire the special prosecutor. The Assistant Attorney General also refused and also resigned in protest. Nixon then sent a limo to take the Solicitor General to the White House, swore him in as the head of the Justice Department, and ordered him to fire the special prosecutor, which he did. Could Trump do the same? Problem. There is no Solicitor General right now. He has not been confirmed by the Senate. Trump could try to fire the special counsel overseeing the investigation, but the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee said Tuesday night that Congress would immediately reappoint Robert Mueller. The top Democrat on the House Intel Committee said, Mr. President, quote, don't waste our time. So even Trump seems aware that firing a fourth Justice Department official conducting a Trump investigation would not be tolerated. Until recently, we were only sure of an investigation into Trump's campaign. Just last night, we got confirmation that Trump personally was under investigation for felony obstruction of justice. We know this because of a Washington Post report that some feel could only have originated from Mueller himself. Also, in the last 24 hours, we learned that Vice President Mike Schultz, I know nothing, Pence, has retained a lawyer. According to former FBI Director James Comey, you remember he was fired by Trump last month? Comey testified that Vice President Pence knew about Mike Flynn's involvement with Russia long before Pence had admitted to. According to Comey, Pence knew about Flynn and the Russians all along. And if Comey's testimony is true, the vice president can also be charged with felony obstruction of justice. Now, unlike Trump, Pence hired a lawyer with relevant experience, a former Department of Justice prosecutor. Trump hired his personal lawyer because all the D.C. lawyers considered Trump too toxic to touch. Trump's lawyer is the one who settled the Trump University case by paying out $25 million. Trump's lawyer is such a hack that he actually advised members of the senior White House staff not to get lawyers. Pence apparently didn't listen. So, with the president firing 3 top DOJ officials, including Comey, that leaves him open to the obstruction charge. And with Comey's testimony that Pence knew about Flynn and the Russians all along, that leaves the vice president open to a felony obstruction of justice charge. And that's just what we know from what's been made public. What deep, dirty secrets has Comey disclosed in a classified setting behind closed doors? Unknown right now. Many suspect that it definitely involves Michael Flynn, and it is deep, dark, dirty, and very, very big. All of this is to say that the tipping point for Trump could well be the tipping point for Pence as well. There could be a double impeachment somewhere down the road. If that grabs your attention, let me remind you, that means President Ryan. Which leads me to a third possibility as to why Republicans won't talk impeachment yet, but I've said too many words right now. It's time for me to introduce my co-host for DVTV Live, the lovely and talented Jean Lee. Hello,
Hi.
Jean. How you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Did my monologue go on for too long?
No, it's okay, but you
felt like it was too
also
long.
mispronounced Preet's name again.
That's because you corrected me before. That's your fault.
What?
Okay.
It's Bahara.
I know it's Bahara.
Okay.
I was too self-conscious of it.
It's okay.
But yeah, but I'm really grateful that Esther is here to roll that teleprompter because I wouldn't know what to do at the beginning of the show. In fact, I don't know what to do now. I keep looking at the prompter for new words and they don't come. So
Well, I think Richard Cullen has his work cut out for him.
yeah. But actually, no, I do know what I want to talk about.
What?
Because this Trumpgate, now the Republicans don't want to talk impeachment at all because they feel, they have the majority in the House, the Senate.
Yeah.
They have Trump behind them. They have control. But I think they're using this whole Trumpgate thing as a cover, as a cloak, to pass legislation that nobody wants except for Republicans. For instance, right now, in secret, they are working on a new revised AHCA, a new health care bill. They have not let any Democrats, they have not let one Democrat read one word of this legislation.
Isn't that illegal?
No, it's not illegal, but it's highly unethical and highly unusual.
That's bizarre.
It is bizarre, yeah.
I'm looking at you like, this is bizarre.
This is really bizarre. This is not what democracy is supposed to be about, and they're going to attempt to rush it through before anybody has a chance to read it. And these health bills, like tax bills, they're a stack of papers. The last one they passed in the House, I believe, nobody read that, and they all admitted that. And of course, they're going to rush this out, and before anybody has a real chance to read it, they're going to take a vote on it. Before we know anything about it, before the Democrats know anything about it, all we know that it could knock off 20 to 30 million Americans, knock their insurance out.
Because it's basically you have to have a full-time job with a health plan, or you got to be young and healthy and lucky.
Yeah.
That's basically it. But that's how it's always
You
kind
have
of
children, if you're poor.
That's always how it's been in this country, though.
Yeah, it's always been until Obamacare came along.
It's always been like this in this country, so they're trying to bring it back.
Now,
but also, Obamacare, a lot of my friends have lost their health insurance too because the companies just won't pay for it anymore, and they don't have to. So a lot of people have also seen the premiums go up, and that's a real thing as well with Obamacare.
Yeah, but then again, a lot of people that I know didn't have insurance before are now insured, thanks to Obama. There was a study, I don't have it in front of me, it's from New England. They studied in Massachusetts, there was a health care law passed. So they studied conditions before and after this healthcare thing took effect in Massachusetts, they estimated, based on this study, that 36,000 people could die a year without this insurance, under this new healthcare thing. I mean, we did a show a couple of months ago, people will die. It sounds like a lot of hyperbole, it sounds like alarmist, but hey, you know, and think about the veterans that Trump loves so much. He loves those veterans. There's cutting off funds. This Healthcare Act that we know of, what we've seen of it already, cuts off funds to the Vietnam era.
They need
veterans.
it the most.
They're in their 70s now.
Yeah, they need it the most.
They need it the most, and where are they going to end up? They're going to end up on the street. More homeless veterans. They are Trump and Trump Care pushing out more homeless veterans. So if you have feelings about this, if you know people who don't have health care, if you have health care and you're happy with it, whatever your feelings are, give us a call, 212-757-1393. We're taking your calls tonight. That camera there on dvtv Live, 212-757-1393. Yes, please call us up, talk to us about this horrible thing. Now, I don't see impeachment coming soon. It may be after the 2018 election, which
that would be great.
Early 2019. It's a ways off. Now, I think we talked about this before. The silver lining in that is maybe the Democrats will get a majority. Maybe, just maybe, Pence and Trump will both get impeached. And as I said, they're both under investigation for obstruction of justice.
I can't believe they both have lawyers now.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Well, and everybody in the White House is going to lawyer up.
And you know what the worst part is? What about a lot of the people that have lower level jobs that make like 5-figure incomes in there? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? A lot of those people, like, I feel like their careers are going to be tainted. Because
a lot. That's why he's having so much trouble staffing.
Because nobody wants
to go into this White House. It's like what they said was career suicide to join Team Trump at this point. You know, not only it's chaos, not only it's a thankless job, not only you can get kicked out. You know, I mean, Trump will throw you under the bus in a heartbeat.
Minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's bad for your career. You don't want that on your...
And those cabinet meetings are just really creepy.
Oh, God, my God, yes. 11 minutes. Did you see that? 11 minutes.
It was so creepy.
Ass kissing. Now, the one bright spot in that... Yes, men. Yeah. The one bright spot was Mad Dog Mattis. He didn't say how proud he was to serve the president. He said, I am proud to represent the service members in the armed forces around the world, and we're proud to be defending freedom and all like that. He did not say he's proud to serve under Trump, or what a great guy Trump is, or what an honor, or how we're blessed with Trump.
We are not.
So good for him. Good for Mad Dog. But you know, he didn't kiss ass.
Which is
what
great.
I'm trying not to say, but there's no other way to put it.
Yeah, he didn't basically like go, "Oh, Trump, you're so great,"
which everybody else did for 11 bloody minutes.
I don't understand. That was so creepy. Every single publication, news outlet has said, basically, that is creepy.
Now, I worked for companies where there's some of that going on.
Okay.
But I've never seen anything like that. That was totally.
That's so bizarre.
Blew my mind. Yeah. It was really creepy. It was extremely creepy.
I mean, like, I can't imagine 6 months into this job. Mm-hmm. It's a total disaster. And he keeps on completely denying and deflecting, being like, we're doing great things. We're doing great things. And I'm like, you've done absolutely nothing.
He's passed absolutely nothing. He brags about passing all this legislation. All he has done is sign presidential orders, executive orders.
Yeah, which are being like, you know, stricken down by the Ninth Circuit.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah, as well they should be, but that's all he's done. I mean,
no, he also got like Scalia's job in.
Yeah,
so that's like the one thing he's done.
Yeah, and that's only because the Republicans kept it open for him for over a year because they unjustly denied
Obama.
Obama and what was his? Quickly we forget his nominee's name.
I forgot.
Yeah, I've forgotten too. And this was a guy that was like respected by both sides of the aisle. Yeah.
It's like Mueller. At least he's respected, but I hope he doesn't get fired either.
Well, it's going to be very difficult.
Very tough.
And if he does manage
to
fire him,
whack-a-mole.
If he does manage to fire him, the Congress is going to reappoint him right back. So they're not going to stand for that. So that's the good news. He's stuck with Mueller. And Mueller is highly respected by the FBI, by members of Congress.
By Comey.
By Comey, yes. Yeah. 212-757-1393. Did any of you see Jefferson Beauregard Sessions and his testimony on Tuesday?
Oh my God, he looks like the Keebler elf.
Well, it looks like Granny Clampett, but you don't get that reference either.
Oh yeah, I remember you emailed me about it and I was very confused.
Who is that person?
And then you were like,
it's
the
a 60s sitcom.
Beverly Hillbillies, and I'm like, what's that?
It's a 60s sitcom. I did another 60s sitcom thing in the...
I thought you were watching cartoons in the 60s.
Well, I was, but it's almost a cartoon. It's a cartoon of a sitcom.
Okay,
very silly sitcom with a great cast that made it very worthwhile. It's still enjoyable when it comes on TV. But anyway, hey, he might as well be a character from the Beverly Hillbillies. Beauregard, Jeff Beauregard. Well, he totally stonewalled in his testimony. He refused to answer any questions. And the star of the hearings was Kamala Harris.
Oh my God, she did such a good job grilling him.
Senator from California, former U.S. prosecutor. Yeah, she did a great job. And what happened to her? She was shushed by John McCain and the chairman of the committee.
So why would she be shushed by John McCain?
Because she's a black woman, that's why.
No, but John McCain...
These old white men cannot stand...
John McCain doesn't even like Jeff Sessions.
No, he doesn't, but...
He hates Jeff Sessions.
Yeah, but again, he's an old white man. He's not used to women like...
he should be used to it. I don't know. I feel like John McCain, you know what I love? His facial expressions. Every time he hears something about Trump, he goes, he has this as if someone died.
Yeah. Well, he's ashamed. He's been a Republican, and he is so bloody ashamed of what the Republican Party has become and the amount of, again, I have to use this term, ass-kissing that has gone on within his own party.
And he won't stand for it. That's what's good about him.
He won't stand for it,
He won't stand for it.
He did stay. He also wouldn't stand for Kamala Harris actually trying to get a straight answer.
That's important
from Beauregard.
to get a straight answer from that guy.
He did not give one straight answer. Previous show that this may outlaw, this investigation is going to go deep because it involves money laundering and international stuff and banking and all the stuff.
Do you think
But it's also, I feel, it's a cover for evil things that the Republicans are doing. Not only they have the majority and they have Trump to sign bills if they can ever get a bill through, but they're using it as a cloak of invisibility. Nobody is paying attention to what's going on in the Senate right now, in the House, to this health care bill, which they are not making public. Again, let me say this again in case you don't realize it. No Democrats have read any words of this health care bill. They are putting it together in secret. They're going to rush release it one day. They want to pass it before July 4th. They're going to take a vote on it before anybody bloody has a chance to read it. And this could knock 20 to 30 million Americans.
And it could kill hundreds of thousands of people within the year.
It will sooner or later end up killing people. So that's the big concern right now. And as Andy Hum mentioned in the state legislature, there's our own universal health care bill for New York State that's being blocked mainly by rogue Democrats, but yeah. I mean, the Republicans have the minority. A few rogue Democrats are tipping the balance enough so this bill is stuck in the legislature.
And the worst part is they represent the neighborhoods where they need it the most.
Yeah, some of the neighborhoods. I don't know if Staten Island needs it the most, but they probably do.
But Washington Heights,
the Bronx, yeah.
Some parts
Staten
of the Bronx.
Staten Island, it turns out, has like some of the worst opioid problem, prescription painkiller problem.
Why?
Oh yeah, it's a hotbed. I don't know.
I mean, it's not that bad there.
Oh yes, it is. Oh yes, it is. A lot of there's a lot of that, and it's kind of like where all that's going on. Other boroughs have drug problems, but most of the prescription painkillers, most of the problems are happening in Staten Island, in the burbs.
Well, listen, Rich, and it's great talking to you, and thanks for all the work you guys are doing.
Hey, thanks so much for calling, Amos. So we got about 40 seconds left.
Don't go to North Korea.
Don't go to North Korea.
My mommy told me not. That was a bad idea.
Yeah,
but I thought about going.
And you have ancestors in North Korea, don't you?
Well, my mom and dad are originally from that area.
Yeah.
Like our racial origin is from the north.
And you know better than that.
Yeah.
Apparently this kid didn't, and he comes back
comatose.
Brain
dead. Pretty much brain dead.
So listen, I want to thank you all for watching. Follow us on Twitter at dvtv Live, and be sure to tune in to us next week. Until then, this is Rich.
And this is Jeannie.
Good night and good luck.